Episode 3. First assignment, compliance restructuring. Morning did not feel like morning. Daniel did not sleep. The tiny camera inside the ceiling vent stared at him all night like a restless eye that never blinks. Even when he closed his own hazel eyes, he could still see that red dot glowing in his mind. Paradise had walls, paradise had cameras, and now paradise had expectations. At exactly 8:00 a.m., his phone chimed. Orientation room, 8:30 a.m. Sharp. Miss Toke Daniel adjusted his navy blue suit carefully. His deep brown skin looked calm, but inside him something wrestled. His father used to say, "When the river is quiet, check if crocodiles are sleeping." He stepped into the hallway. Emeka was already there, adjusting his burgundy suit jacket, confidence flowing from him like expensive cologne. "Big day, my brother." Emeka grinned, gray eyes shining. First real assignment. Ngozi stepped out next, glasses resting gently on her nose. Her navy skirt suit was perfectly ironed. Her almond-shaped dark eyes looked thoughtful. Aisha joined them last, her floral Ankara dress bright against the marble corridor. She smiled, but Daniel noticed it was softer today. They walked together toward the conference wing. No one mentioned the cameras, but everyone knew. The assignment, the conference room, was colder than usual. The air conditioner hummed softly, like a machine that knew too much. At the head of the table sat Mr. Cade, silver hair flawless, icy blue eyes steady. His charcoal suit looked sharp enough to cut truth in half. Beside him stood Barrister Halima Crown, her red power suit bold against the dark walls, amber eyes alert. Other senior partners sat silently. Mr. Bello in his flowing white agbada, Mrs. Imani with her braided crown hairstyle, Mr. Ju in his precise black suit, Mr. Akoro with the faint scar over his eyebrow, Mrs. Linda Ade with her light brown curls and confident smirk. 7 watchers, 7 decision-makers, 7 judges of destiny. Mr. Cade folded his hands. "Today," he began smoothly, "you will begin practical engagement." A large screen behind him lit up. Client Petroglobe International, a multinational oil corporation operating in the Niger Delta. Daniel's heartbeat shifted. Oil, power, money, controversy. Mr. Cade continued. Petroglobe is undergoing compliance restructuring. The phrase sounded polished, clean, professional, but Daniel felt something behind it. Halima tapped her tablet, and financial spreadsheets filled the screen. "There are minor reporting inconsistencies," she said calmly. "Environmental impact figures require adjustment before submission to regulatory authorities." Adjustment. Daniel's hazel eyes narrowed slightly. Mr. Bello leaned forward. "It is not fraud," he said gently. "It is strategic presentation." Mrs. Imani smiled faintly. "In law and finance, perspective is everything." Emeka's pen was already moving. He looked impressed. Ngozi's fingers tightened around her file. Daniel raised his hand slowly. "What kind of adjustment?" he asked carefully. The room grew slightly quieter. Mr. Cade looked at him directly. "Reclassification," he replied smoothly. "Some environmental penalties will be shifted to operational expenditure. Spill volumes will be recalculated using updated internal metrics." Daniel swallowed. That sounded like reducing damage numbers, reducing reported pollution, reducing responsibility. Halima's amber eyes studied him. "You graduated top of your class, Daniel. Surely you understand that numbers tell stories." Daniel nodded slowly. "Yes, ma'am, but they must tell true stories." A silence fell, heavy. Emeka glanced at Daniel subtly, as if to say not now. Mr. Cade smiled. "Truth," he said softly, "is often complex. The documents later in a private workroom, the recruits gathered around a glass table covered with documents, satellite images of oil spills, community complaints, compensation estimates, environmental damage assessments. Aisha's cheerful face faded. "These villages," she whispered, "look at the rivers." Black streaks cut through what should have been blue. Ngozi adjusted her glasses. "The raw numbers show higher spill volumes than the report summary," she murmured. Emeka leaned back. "Guys, this is corporate reality. We are not activists. We are lawyers." Daniel remained quiet. On one page, a column labeled "Revised Discharge Metrics" showed reduced figures, reduced by nearly 40%. 40% of oil does not vanish like smoke. It sinks, it poisons, it destroys. Daniel remembered visiting the Delta once during university. The smell of crude oil in the air, children playing near darkened water. He closed the file. "I don't think this is just reclassification," he said. Emeka exhaled. "Daniel, listen. This is how big firms operate. If we refuse, someone else will do it." Ngozi looked between them. "There is legal gray area," she admitted quietly. "The language allows reinterpretation." Aisha bit her lower lip. "But morally," no one answered, because morality does not shout in boardrooms. It whispers. "The pressure by afternoon, Mr. Cade summoned Daniel alone. The senior partner's office overlooked the ocean. Blue waves moved endlessly, indifferent to human corruption. "That's it, Mr. Cade said calmly. Daniel sat. "Your hesitation is visible, Mr. Cade continued. Daniel did not pretend. "Yes, sir, Mr. Cade stood and walked slowly toward the window. "Do you know how many families depend on Petro Globe's operations?" he asked. Daniel remained silent. "Thousands, Mr. Cade answered himself. Shutting them down would collapse local economies." He turned. "We are stabilizing the narrative, not destroying truth." Daniel's voice remained steady. "Sir, reducing environmental figures may protect investors. But what about communities?" Mr. Cade's icy eyes sharpened. "You are young." "That is true," Daniel replied respectfully. Mr. Cade stepped closer. "In this world, Daniel, survival requires flexibility. Idealism feeds no one." Daniel remembered the camera in his vent, the hidden microphones, the smiling paradise. Was this assignment also a test? Mr. Cade's voice softened. "Complete the restructuring. Show loyalty. Your future here will be extraordinary." Loyalty. The word hung heavy. Internal war that night. Daniel stood again beneath the ceiling vent. The red light blinked softly. He spoke quietly. "Are you testing my integrity or selling it?" He paced the room. Emeka called. "My guy, just do the work. Think long term." Ngozi sent a message. "We must be careful. They are watching." Aisha called later. "Daniel, what if we suggest a middle ground? Maybe partial adjustment?" He sighed. "When a pod is cracked," he said softly, "patching it does not make it whole." He opened his laptop. He reviewed the environmental impact files again. The real figures, the edited figures. He imagined the delta waters turning darker. He imagined children coughing. He imagined the partners smiling in the control room. Then his phone buzzed again. Unknown numbers. He answered. Halima's voice. "Daniel," she said calmly. "Every great lawyer faces a defining moment. Choose wisely." The call ended. The submission deadline, 9:00 a.m. All recruits gathered in the workroom. Emeka looked determined. "I've finalized the adjusted report." Ngozi hesitated but nodded. "I revised language carefully. It's defensible." Aisha looked uncertain. Daniel's laptop remained open. Blank submission field waiting. Mr. Cade entered the room. "Time," he said softly. Daniel felt the weight of 7 partners watching, even if not physically present. The room seemed smaller. "They're heavier," a proverb echoed in his mind. "When you sell your conscience, you cannot buy it back." Emeka clicked submit. Ngozi followed. Aisha closed her eyes briefly and submitted hers. All eyes turned to Daniel. He hovered over the keyboard. He imagined his mother's voice. He imagined his father's proverb. He imagined the red blinking camera. Then he attached a file, not the edited version, the original data, unaltered, with a formal note. Recommendation: full transparency advised to mitigate long-term legal exposure. He clicked submit. A silence, the kind of silence that announces consequence. Mr. Cade's expression did not change, but his blue eyes grew colder. Interesting, he said softly. Halima stepped forward slowly. You chose transparency. Daniel stood straight. Yes, ma'am, Mr. Cade folded his hands. Very well. He turned to leave. Meeting in the control room. All recruits. Control room. The word echoed like thunder. The revelation for the first time. They were led downstairs, past security doors, past biometric scanners, into the dimly lit room of glowing monitors. Their apartments filled the screens, every movement recorded. Aisha gasped. Ngozi froze. Emeka whispered, "So it's true, mister." Cade stood before them. "This firm operates on observation," he said calmly. "Trust is measured." Halima continued. The assignment was real. The oil case exists, but this was also evaluation. Daniel's heartbeat slowed slightly. Mr. Bello spoke. Most graduates bend quickly. Mrs. Imani added softly. Few stand. Mr. Cade's icy gaze rested on Daniel. Integrity is expensive, he said, but valuable. The tension shifted. You will all continue, Mr. Cade announced. But Daniel, he paused, you will work directly under us. Shock filled the room. Emeka stared. Ngozi blinked slowly. Aisha exhaled. Daniel felt no victory, only awareness. Paradise had deeper layers and deeper costs. Ending hook as they exited the control room. Daniel lingered briefly. On one of the monitors, another file opened. Petro Globe was not the only client. There were politicians, judges, international arms suppliers, and one folder labeled Project Exodus. Mr. Cade noticed Daniel looking. Their eyes met. The blue of power, the hazel of conscience. Mr. Cade smiled faintly. Welcome to the real assignment, he said. Fade to black. Lessons and teachings 1. Success without integrity is slow poison. 2. Not every opportunity must be accepted. 3. Integrity may cost comfort, but it buys peace. 4. When powerful men test you, remember who you are. 5. Transparency protects future generations. 6. Modern society rewards silence, but history honors courage. 7. Paradise without truth is a decorated prison. As the proverb says, the man who stands for nothing will fall for anything. Call for subscription if episode 3 shook you, if Daniel's choice made your heart race, if you want to uncover Project Exodus. Then this story is only beginning. Subscribe now, turn on notifications, share with someone who believes integrity still matters. Because in Cade and Crown, the real game has just started.